Welcome to another episode of A Queen, a Donkey, a Towner. And this is probably an episode that I didn't really want to do. I don't think anybody would really want to do. After the devastating news yesterday that was released, of course, around the injury to Jake Cass. Here is a very, very special interview I've done with Jake Cass this morning. Hope you enjoy it. And his very heartfelt messages to the club, which you will see in this interview. And as I said, really do hope that you enjoyed this interview with the one and only Mr. Jake Cass. Well, welcome to this sort of Enfield Town special we've got today. And of course, joining me, as you can see to the left-hand side of me, of course, or if it's, you might see him to the right-hand side of you sometimes, but he's there with me today. Of course, he's the one and only Mr. Jake Cass. And of course, Jake put a statement out, I think it was yesterday. I'll read the statement to you and then we'll go and have a chat with Jake. And he says, unfortunately, during Tuesday night's game, completely unopposed, I ruptured my Achilles tendon from which I've been having operation on Wednesday. My season is over and realistically my career too. I also need an op on my knee for a problem I've been playing with for some time. And I've always said I'll probably call it a day if I sustain another serious injury. I'm truly devastated, especially seeing how everything is developing for the season. But that's football and life. Anybody who knows me knows how much I love Enfield Town FC and representing this special football club. Mobility permitting, I'll be down to see everybody soon. Big love, Jake. And Jake, I mean, devastating for you, devastating for the fans and for the club. I mean, when did you realise that, you know, something was wrong and you needed to get off the pitch?
To be honest, I think I knew straight away, deep down. Obviously I played football for a long time, and you kind of know your body. And that the pain that I experienced and felt was not too dissimilar to when I snapped my knee. So I've obviously done my ACL about 5 years ago. So I knew there was something pretty seriously wrong. But I think you kind of just tell yourself that maybe it's not what you think it is. And I actually thought that I was convinced that I'd been kicked in the back of my leg, to the point where I probably have an apology, but I even had a word with their centre half after the game. I waited for him. And it turns out I got sent the video the next day that there was nobody near me. It's not a good sign when there's no one near you and you go down like that.
So what happened? I mean, have you been to see specialists then? I mean, what's actually happened in the last sort of 24 hours?
Yeah, so I was seeing a specialist on the day after the game, on Wednesday for a knee problem that I've got, and basically he took a look at it and said you need an op on your knee, which is obviously not great news. Then he said, let me take a look at your injury from last night, and within a few moments he said, I wouldn't even worry about the knee because you've got a fully ruptured Achilles. So I then had to go and see a specialist. I had to rush to see a specialist in London, and then they basically said to me that you need an operation as soon as possible, really, within 2 weeks. So luckily I've got the op booked in for Wednesday, so that's 8 days post injury. So fortunately I can move quite quickly with it, and I've got a bit of visibility on what I need to do and all the rest of it, as opposed to waiting around. But yes, it's a pretty bleak injury, to say the least.
So, I mean, even with that, I mean, even for sort of your own sort of job wise, I mean, I'm not sure what you do as a job yourself, but I mean, how's that going to affect everything? You know, altogether, really.
Yeah, to be honest, just my general everyday mobility. I'm wearing this big old boot that's pretty difficult to maneuver in, and yeah, driving's kind of out of question at the moment, which is annoying because I've got a company, I've got an office that I need to be in, the staff I need to manage, but listen, it could be worse. There are lads that get injured and they have to be up and down ladders, and they're good friends that go without a wage when they get injured. So fortunately, I'm not to that extent, but yeah, obviously it's pretty kind of pretty crippling in terms of just general mobility and everyday life. To be honest, I have to do my first online food shop later, which is going to be an experience. But listen, there's always somebody in a worse situation. Obviously, everyone's problems are relative, but luckily I'm not sort of missing out too much on my livelihood.
I mean, what when you made sort of, we've seen the the statement you've made, and of course in that statement you've said, like, if you get another serious injury, you'll probably call it a day. I mean, had another sort of probably 15 hours or so since that since that post?
Yeah,
Anything
yeah.
change in your mindset?
Listen, I'm old enough and wise enough to never say never. I didn't want to put a big post about retiring and all the rest of it, but you got to be realistic. Like I said, I snapped my ACL 5 years ago, and I was playing in the Conference National at the time, so it was pretty earth shattering. And after the rehab, because that one's even longer than what I've got now. I did say after that, then I'd probably call it a day if I did sustain another injury. The reality is I actually need an operation on my right knee as well as my left Achilles. So, you're looking at a long time out. And you get to I'm 30 years of age, you get to a point where you kind of have to assess, what's worth it, what are the long-term impacts, what does my life look like moving forward. So yeah, never say never, but really and truthfully, I'd be surprised if I grace a football pitch again. Just being honest with myself.
So what? How long have they said to you? Is the recovery from the injury?
To be honest, it's still been a bit of a whirlwind, so I'm not entirely sure about timelines. But I know post-op, so I get the op Wednesday. I know post-op, I think you can return to playing within around 6 months. I think obviously it's case by case, but I think that's maybe like an optimistic. I don't know how realistic that is, but yeah, like I said, I need to. If I didn't have to sort my knee out as well, maybe I would kind of have a different perspective and a different kind of goal. But where I need to sort this out and then sort my knee out, the landscape's a little bit different, unfortunately.
So is it a case of them with Achilles wise, get the Achilles done first, get that
Mhm.
sort of back sort of mobility, and then go for your right knee, or are you going to sort of plan?
Yeah, yeah. Well, they've mentioned that I could potentially get an injection in my knee, but because of how bad it's gotten, because I've been playing on it for the end of last season, it explains a lot, and then beginning of this season, yeah. So maybe it will settle down with resting my Achilles, and I can get away with an injection. But worst case scenario, it's going to be another op, which I think probably be even kind of longer rehab than the Achilles. But yeah, I'm just going to take it week by week, month by month. I've got a lot of time to play with to work out what's going on and how I play the future. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
And what was the phone call like? I take it you had to make that phone call, see him face to face to see the boss and in Gavin and maybe
Yeah,
chairman. I mean,
yeah,
what's that like?
yeah. Like I said, I knew there was something wrong. Luckily, literally the day after, I was able to get visibility on how bad it was. So I called the gaffer straight away, just let him know. Told the boys as well. More so just to let the group kind of know and be able to move forward as a collective and crack on with the task at hand, because I don't want to I don't want to drag it out. I'd rather just say my bit and then bow out and let the boys crack on, and once I'm up and running, I can go and show my support, because yeah, I love it at Enfield. And, I want to be. I've got a lot of good friends down there on the pitch, off the pitch. So I want to go down there in whatever capacity that may be, and see people and say my hellos and all the rest of it.
You can come and join us on the commentary as well if you want to. If you,
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you
Well, yeah,
want.
but a part-time career in punditry awaits maybe, but yeah, we'll see. I'll take you up on that one. I heard Lewis Taft did a good job the other day, so
It's
yeah,
right.
the bar's high.
Too bad. Yeah. I'd rather you both be out there playing though, rather than joining me up the top. But I mean,
Yeah.
can you tell us anything? I know it's a personal conversation, but is there anything you can tell us
Mm.
on Gavin's reaction to the sort of devastating news for yourself?
Yeah, yeah. He seems pretty gutted, and to be honest with you, I'm actually, I'm pretty devastated myself. But not just because of the injury. I mean, the injury is annoying. I've got a life to live, as we all do, and it's pretty crippling just to do everyday tasks. But when you look at what Gavin's done since he's come in and what he's built, I know it's early doors. We're only 2 games in, but there's a really special feeling around the club, and I was very much enjoying being a part of it. Like I say, it's early doors. You can't get carried away. Saturday will be a tough test for the lads, but you just know sometimes when there's a good feeling around a place, and like it's kind of everything came together really nicely in the last few weeks. The season was looking really positive, and I was looking forward to doing my bit, and enabling some of the players around me to really kick on as well. so yeah, it's devastating. And I'm sure the gaff will, whether he has to bring someone in to, to do the role that I was doing, or kind of adapt. I'm sure he'll do that. But yeah, hopefully we can kind of get that resolved, and it doesn't, my absence doesn't in any way, shape, or form, to change what we do or how we do it, and our trajectory.
Let's just hope he's got a spare 20 million in his back pocket. He can go and get somebody, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get someone a lot better than me for about 20 quid. So it'd be all right. It'd be all right.
I mean, just while you're on, I mean, what's the, I know you said the atmosphere is great and you can feel it in the ground. I mean, what would you say is the difference in the playing style from Andy from last year to Gavin? I mean, is there been like a quite a big change that you as players have had to sort of really buy into and concentrate, not necessarily concentrate more, but realize like this is what we did with Andy. We've got to almost scrap that, and this is what Gavin wants us to do. And is it a completely different playing style? It looks it to us sitting up there doing the commentary and sitting in the crowd. But I mean, how difficult is that to go from, one playing style from last year, and now all of a sudden you're playing a completely different playing style?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to compare the two because they're both great sets of management. Thoroughly enjoyed my time under both. So I don't want to sort of draw comparisons, but yeah, it's chalk and cheese. It's chalk and cheese. Everything is different. From as an example, the assistant manager didn't come in the change room pre-season, whereas last time around we used to like Maz Bin. So just loads of different elements of just small things that you wouldn't think are things that you have to adapt to. But yeah, everything that I've seen with the new management has been nothing other than incredibly enjoyable. Like I said, there's a great feeling around the club, and that kind of starts in the changing room. It spreads to the training ground, spreads to the pitch, then to the terraces, then the board. It kind of starts small and it grows out, and it's all just been organically really, really enjoyable. And I'm sure you felt it, saw it yourself on Saturday. Whether that's playing style, whether that's personnel that we've brought in. We've got a great dressing room, really, really good bunch of lads, great camaraderie. So yeah, no, everything is very, very different, but incredible. And like I said, one of the reasons I'm so gutted is because I'm now not involved in that. I don't get to be a part of it, which is devastating. But that's life. That's football.
But from inside the dressing room, is there a different music man this year? Because the music seems to have got than last year. Waiting
Well,
outside there, it's just
yeah,
this noise last year. This year, at least it's a bit of a tune to it this year.
yeah. Well, careful what you say, David, because I was DJ last year. But, yeah, we've to be fair, I've given Joe Payne more of a free rein, and he's got a few good mixes. So yeah, we put him on music, and we started winning, so we kind of stuck with it. But to be fair, Potter's Bar, he was struggling to connect to the speaker, so I jumped back on. So yeah, it's nice to see that I've still got a bit of mixing ability. Yeah.
The boss said he still likes it. When asked him the same question, he just turned around and said, "No, it's still not for me." He said, "I like something that you can sing along to."
Yeah, I wouldn't have that. Our dressing room tunes down as being a gaffer's taste, but you can't win them all. You can't please everyone.
So, I mean, you say, back to your injury. I mean, you say you're going in on, in on Wednesday. I suppose everybody from the club, from the fans to the ballroom, everybody will wish you all the very, very best with that. And, just hope that recovery goes well. And, and everybody at the club hopes to see you. I know you're saying it's going to be a long time, but we're hoping to see you back on the pitch, whether that's at Enfield, whether that's anywhere else. Because let's be honest, you've been an absolute superb, stalwart for the club, and, scored some incredible goals. Been that type of man that everybody loves on the pitch as well. So it's everybody's thoughts are with you, mate, and we do hope that everything goes okay with both your operations that you've got in the coming months.
Yeah. Well, I just want to take this moment to thank. Some of the messages on Twitter have really taken me back. I don't want to say kind of cliche stuff that everybody kind of throws around, but Enfield Town is a really unique football club. I've played for some special non-league football teams, and I've got a soft spot in my heart for a few clubs that I've played for, but nothing comes close to how I feel about Enfield Town. When I signed for the club, I spoke with a good friend of mine, Mark Kirby, who's obviously a legend down at the town, and he said, "Listen, you're going to love it down there. They're going to love you. You're going to love it." And he was spot on. And ever since I've come into the club, it's just an incredible place to be. I've got a lot of friends there on the pitch, off it. It's just a really, really unique football club and unique place that, again, without trying to be cliche, I will be back down very soon, mobility permitting, because I truly love it down there. So yeah, we'll just have to see what the future holds, and yeah, I'll be down soon to see yourself and everybody else, and I look forward to it.
Magic, Jake. And listen, mate, we won't keep it long because I know you're a busy man as well. And
Top man.
listen, mate, it's been a pleasure talking to you, a pleasure meeting you as well, and hopefully we'll see each other again very soon.
Absolutely. Cheers, David, and up the town. See you later, mate. Bye bye. Bye bye.